This is Wilson's Creek National Battlefield in Missouri. Early engagement of the Civil War fought on August 10th, 1861 between Brigadier General Nathaniel Lyon of the Union and Major General Sterling Price of the Confederacy. Let's go examine the Visitor Center and take a tour of the battlefield.
She did, yeah. Hold on. Let's find out if she's working on it or anything. Yes, thank you.
And this is the bed that General Nathaniel Lyon died in. And this is Confederate General Sterling Price's handgun and watch. Very large assortment of bayonets, swords, rifles, sabers, handguns, This sword belonged to Colonel David Moore. This is Nathaniel Lyon's sword. And this is the bedspread that the Ray family used to wrap the deceased body of General Lyon. Okay, they call this the Eye of the Storm. The Confederate army entered this valley from my left along Wire Road, and the soldiers camped on both sides of the creek for about a mile. Shortly after 5 a.m. on August 10th, while Generals Price and Ben McCulloch were eating breakfast, the Union Army attacked. Looking up the bloody hill in front of you, the Confederate generals saw their own soldiers running for their lives, and then the flash of Union cannon. So this is the site of Major General Sterling Price's headquarters. And this is the interior of Price's headquarters. And this is a bridge across Wilson's Creek. So General Price's Confederate troops were encamped on both sides of Wilson's Creek at dawn when the battle commenced. And this is the site of Gibson's Mill and Oatfield. The Confederate camp's northern end was here. The Missouri State Guard, General James S. Rains, headquartered his 2,500-man division near the mill, which was close to Wilson's Creek. This is the John Ray House. This is the Ray House. Now, John Ray, he sat on the front porch and watched the battle. His wife Roxana and their 9 children, a mail carrier, and his slave Aunt Rhoda and her 4 children. They hid in the cellar during the battle. This is the vantage point that John Ray would have had, with his cornfield out in front and his orchard. This is the Ray's bedroom. So around 6:30 in the morning on August 10th, 1861, soldiers appeared in John Ray's cornfield. And from the right came Captain Joseph B. Plummer's 300-man regular army battalion, sent by General Nathaniel Lyon of the Union Army to secure the Federal left flank. Plummer had observed the Pulaski, Arkansas artillery mauling the main Union line on Bloody Hill, and he was moving to silence the Confederate battery. But to the left, about 900 Louisiana infantry and Arkansas dismounted and stood in their way. So the clash was short and decisive. The Confederate Colonel James McIntosh inspired a daring charge through the corn that sent the United States regulars running back to the creek. Only the Union artillery on Bloody Hill kept the Southerners from annihilating Plummer's battalion. And some apples on the tree. And this is John Ray's spring house, which we are going to walk to next. And this is Ray's spring house. Rather damp, with a smattering of frogs. It's like the stream flows right through it. Ray's house is clearly visible as he looks over the cornfield, which is where I'm standing right now. And this is the site of Ray's cornfield, where the heaviest fighting occurred, and where the Union was pushed back. This is the site of the Pulaski Battery, where Captain William E. Woodruff had 4 cannon firing on Bloody Hill. He suffered a few casualties among his artillery group, including 2 killed and 1 wounded. And this is the location of Union Colonel Franz Seigel's artillery, his second position. Now this is the southern end of the battlefield, and Seigel mounted a surprise attack on the Confederate camps. The battle plan called for Seigel to attack from the south, while General Lyon attacked from the north. On the morning of the battle, Seigel's men occupied the ridge across the creek to the left. When General Lyon's cannon opened fire to the north, Seigel began shelling the 2,300 Confederate cavalrymen encamped here in Sharp's cornfield. This is what we're looking at, and it is a cornfield today. Now this is the high ground that Seigel occupied. And exploding shells rained on the camps. This right here in the cornfield is where the Confederates were shattered by Seigel's artillery. It startled the rebels. The rebels, or Confederates, retreated to the north behind me. By 7:30 a.m., Seigel had crossed the creek and entered the far end of the field in front of me. So, Sigel's fatal mistake here. It's the route of Sigel's column. And Colonel Franz Sigel advanced to this position, and on this hillside is his final position. He formed a line of battle across the Wire Road, and here the Confederate troops that he mistook for a Federal regiment attacked him. This is Backoff's battery. And part of Backoff's battery, and this is the Wire Road to the left. Okay, this is Gieber's battery. This is where Captain Henry Gieber positioned his battery with the Confederate line of battle. From this position, the battery dueled with Union artillery on the crest of Bloody Hill in front of us. Confederate infantry mounted 3 attacks through these fields and woods, but the Union line held, and each attack was defeated. And we are going to see Bloody Hill, the decisive portion of the battle. And it is from this high ground that the men of the Union's Sulkowski section found their view enhanced and their cannon range increased here on Bloody Hill. It's a little bit separate from the rest of Captain Totten's battery. But these 2 cannon here, they help to bolster the Union's infantry's position, protecting the Union right flank. Captain Totten's battery formed the anchor of the Union line. Missourians never run. So the Missourians serving for the Confederacy, they attacked 3 times to try to take this hill, and they just charged into the face of iron shot and canister, and they were driven back each time. Very bloody results. In the last assault, the exhausted men of the State Guard made it to the muzzles of the cannons, only to be kicked back through hand-to-hand combat with Totten's gunners. Here's the position of Lieutenant John V. Dubois, and he had the most powerful cannons on the battlefield. They had 12-pounders, and he turned back every Confederate attack across the cornfield. And Dubois was able to cover the Union retreat from the field at the end of the day without a complete rout. Union were able to withdraw orderly, somewhat. And this is the thick of the battle, no man's land. "Come on, my brave boys, I will lead you forward." So cried General Lyon as he led the Kansas troops of the Union Army into battle to drive back the rebels' second attack. A volley of fire exploded in front of him. A bullet tore through both lungs and his heart. Moments later, Brigadier General Nathaniel Lyon slid from his horse and died. And this is the monument where Brigadier General Nathaniel Lyon was killed during the Battle of Wilson's Creek. Laid to rest in mass graves. So after the battle, the Confederates controlled the field, but there were hundreds of dead bodies. So they laid many of them to rest in this sinkhole.